Hi, and welcome to the Design to Live channel. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit more in details about your emotional bank account, what that is, healthy boundaries, and how to set them. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jill Dell. I'm a licensed hypnotherapist based out of the Seattle, Washington area. And if you want to go check out the rest of the series, feel free to go ahead and go back and check out any of the topics that we've talked about. So we mentioned yesterday about the emotional bank account. So what this is imagine yourself as a bank, and you are basically the bank of you, right? And this bank is where you store all of your energy and your emotions. So when you have a positive balance in the bank of you, you can make withdrawals. Creativity, empathy, education, resources, woohoo, go you. But then when you continually take out of the bank of you, you're left with a deficit. And every once in a while, that's okay. But when it happens on a continual basis, that's where we can kind of get into the danger zone, and it kind of slips into a slippery state. And unlike a real balance in a checking account, you can't just log on to the bank of you and see where you're at. A lot of times it just kind of sneaks up on you that you're in that deficit. And it can happen right now, and it is happening right now to a lot of people because of the different things that they're keeping their focus and attention on. That is very draining. Some of these things, as toilet paper going out of the stores and hand sanitizer now maybe not being good for you and being recalled, COVID, which has been going on, murder hornets, to wear a mask or not to wear a mask, that they have a cure or that they don't have a cure to COVID, natural disasters such as storms, asteroids coming close to the earth, fires, global warming, the bees dying off. Then you've got your sensationalized stories of different types of murders that have been going on. Also, awareness campaigns for BLM and child trafficking. You've got riots that have been happening. And we don't know how much of it all is true because there's also fake news. Let's not even get into the far right or the far left. All of it it's emotional stuff. It's negative, right? So basically, we've got to look at self-care, not just coming from the internal places, but also the external places, right? In our environments, and how much of this stuff that we're giving our focus to, because where our focus goes and our attention flows, that's the type of energy that we draw back into us, okay? So the mind follows its dominant thoughts. So if you're always seeing things that are scary out there, guess what you're going to be looking at for more, and what's going to be top of mind? It's going to be looking for scary things. No, we want to look for things that are empowering, that make us feel safe and secure, and doing things in our power to have healthy boundaries with ourselves and others, and having things in place that set us up for that empowerment. Instead of feeling like a victim, we can step into our power, right? A video, but we're talking about boundaries here, and where you can always tell if your boundary is being run over if you're feeling a lot of insecurity, anxiety, you're getting angry or frustrated, or you're feeling really sad or depressed. So let's talk about boundaries as self-care, and how that happens. So we set the boundaries to set up personal space for ourselves, or to that's one of the areas. You can set up boundaries, I guess, for personal space, sexuality, emotions and thoughts, your stuff and possessions, your time and energy. We're really concentrating on time and energy and personal space. But also you can set it up for your culture, your religious beliefs, and for your ethics, right? So what this is going to do for you is it's going to give you better self-esteem and confidence. It's going to conserve your emotional energy so that you're not always taking out withdrawals from your emotional bank account. And it's going to allow you to step out of a victim mode and into a more empowering and independence type mode. So this is where what a boundary is doing for you. It is making yourself a priority. In fact, it's making yourself as much of a priority as anyone else, as anyone other than you, right? So that other people's things aren't more important. No, you are just as important. It's boundaries also can be flexible. Yes, you do need to be assertive with your boundaries and towing the line, but you don't want it to be so assertive that you're actually kind of stepping over other people's boundaries, or maybe hurting friendships, or doing things that isolate you, right? So you want to occasionally go back and review your boundaries and make sure that they're working for you in a positive direction. And then you want your boundaries to give you the space that you need to feel and to grow, so that you can add more of the positives, or more of the deposits into your bank account, right? So that you're making your life a place where you can actually put the deposits back into your emotional bank account. Now your boundaries, they, like I said, they need to be assertive, they need to be clear, and you can do that and still be kind. So a good way to do this is to say it in an I statement, because when you are going you, then there's more fingers pointing back at yourself, right? And when somebody comes at me with you statements, you're this, you're that, that is not going to be taken well by me. Maybe others are better at that, but I do much better with an I statement. So if you say, I feel, so you're articulating what your feeling is when describing the situation, okay? And, then saying why it is that you're feeling that way, if you want. You don't have to. And then letting them know how you actually want to be treated, or you want what you want to have happen, right? Create boundaries that align up with and that are honoring those values that you have detailed as being important to you. Then stick to them. That's probably the hardest part. I think the hardest part for a lot of people that I see is that they are so used to having their boundaries ran over that saying no feels uncomfortable, and then they want to explain why all the time. And the thing about the word no is a complete sentence. It is a complete sentence, and so it may take some practice. And one of the ways that I have used in the past is just to remind myself that no is a complete sentence, and it's okay for me to say no. That when I don't say no, basically I'm saying yes, and I don't want to say yes, so saying no. And that at a time that works for me, then I can say yes to these other people if I want to and feel like it, right? So let's talk about some healthy personal boundaries. So I use a doctor, PhD, Charles Whitfield. He has a personal bill of rights. He came up with like 36 of them. I've added a couple on, but I'm only going to talk about a few when it comes to setting up our healthy routines and our environment today. And so one is that I have the right to determine and honor my own priorities. I have the right to say no without guilt. I have the right to have my needs be as important as those of others. I have the rights to my needs and wants to be respected by those others. I have the right to terminate conversations with people who make me feel put down and humiliated. I have the right to not be responsible for others' behavior, actions, feelings, or problems. It's a big one for people. I have the right to make decisions based on my feelings, my judgment, and any reason that I choose. I have the right to change my mind at any time. I have the right to be happy. I have the right to stability, stable relationships of my choice, and stable environment. I have the right to my own personal space and time needs. I have the right to be healthier than those around me. Okay, so those are the ones I'm going to concentrate on today, just letting you know what those are. So here's one that I made based off of wanting my morning time so that I can do my morning routine before being bombarded. Now, understand that I get bombarded, but sometimes it's by social media. Who has to check on the social media? Me! I have to respect my own boundaries, right? So here is what I would say if someone expresses or demands time from like my family, or if a friend was trying to call me and then got upset because I didn't answer the phone. I'd say, I found that I feel rushed in the morning when I have to make a bunch of decisions before I've had breakfast and my coffee and time to review my calendar and my schedule for the day. So, if I haven't had that time to schedule it, what I feel I need is to just have that morning time uninterrupted so that then I can really let people know what's on my calendar and give people my full attention. That's it. That's a healthy boundary. That's stating it to someone and telling them what you need. Okay? It's not mean. It's not demanding. It is assertive, right? And then, that needs to be safeguarded and protected. Now, also, like I said, there's internal things from me, kind of. And one is my cell phone device, right? So I might need to put on an out of office so that I don't get disturbed during the times of my morning routine. I may need to use a do not disturb on my phone so that I don't even see the texts and all of the social media instant messages or the emails coming in at me in the morning first thing. Then I'm not having to feel any of those senses of guilt when I'm not ready, right? So these can be, that what I've given you is both a physical and an invisible examples of when boundaries can be ran over, and some of them, me in this instance, was me not respecting my own boundary, right? If you like this video and you valued it, please give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Thanks again. Bye-bye.